Good day everyone, this is Elaiza Balansag from BS Term 3B, and now let's tackle about the legal aspect and tourism and hospitality, the Philippine Tourism Law Chapter 14, Insurance Law. For the learning objectives, first, enumerate items that can be insured by a tourism establishment. Second, identify the rationale behind the concept of insurance. Third, explain the different kinds of insurance. And fourth, identify the advantages and disadvantages of having insurance. Insurance is very useful for companies engaged in the tourism industry because there are many kinds of risk, and also there are enterprises where investment oftentimes is quite substantial. By way of example, an employer may subscribe to a group insurance of his employees as part of its employee benefit program. Companies utilizing building structures for the operation of their hotels, restaurants, and other tourism-related establishments may think of investing in property insurance against fire or earthquake to protect their investment. For the definition and concept, the essential elements of an insurance contract are: first, we have insurable interest; second, existence of risk; third, assumption of such risk by the insurer; fourth, said assumption being part of a general scheme to distribute actual losses among those bearing similar risk; fifth, payment of premium. The rule that contracts of insurance will be construed in favor of the insured and must strongly against the insurer should not be permitted to have the effect of making a plain agreement ambiguous and then construe in the favor of the insured. In addition, it is elemental law that the payment of premium is requisite to keep the policy of insurance in force. If the premium is not paid in the manner prescribed in the policy as intended by the parties, the policy is ineffective. Partial payment, even when accepted as a partial payment, will not keep the policy alive even for such fractional part of the year as a part payment bears of the whole payment. For the insurable interest, an insurable interest in that relationship with the person or thing that will support the issuance of the insurance policy. A person is usually regarded as having an insurable interest in the subject matter insured when he will derive pecuniary benefit or advantage from its preservation or will suffer pecuniary loss or damage from its destruction. Insurable interest in group insurance. So any person so related to another, either by contract or commercial relation, may lawfully procure insurance on the other's life. Thus, an employer may insure the life of the employee and vice versa. So the primary aim of group insurance is to provide the employer with the means of procuring insurance protection for his employees and their families at the lowest possible cost. And in so doing, the employer creates goodwill in his employees, enables the employees to carry a larger amount of insurance, and also it can help to attract and hold the permanent class of employees. So the beneficiaries, a person cannot lawfully procure insurance on the life of another in whose life he has no insurable interest. Hence, the assured must have an interest to preserve the life to be insured in spite of the insurance. In order that one may have an insurable interest in the life of another, it must be one of those mentioned in Section 10 of the Insurance Code. Fire, marine, and third-party liability insurance. So the face perils of the sea or perils of the navigations. This includes only those casualties due to the unusual violence or extraordinary action of wind and wave, or to other extraordinary causes connected with the navigation. A loss which is an ordinary course or events, its result would first, from the natural and inevitable action of the sea; second, from the ordinary wear and tear of the ship; third, from the negligent failure of the ship owner to provide the vessel with proper equipment to convey the cargo under ordinary conditions is not a peril of the sea. Such a loss is rather due to what is called as perils of the ship. In such a case, the insurer does not undertake to insure against the peril of the sea. or the perils of the ship. So the perils of the ship, this is means that includes only those casualties. So na ako'y paraphrase that perils of the sea or perils of navigation, because we tackled here fire, marine, and the third party liability insurance. So next is the fire insurance. So the fire insurance is essentially a contract of indemnity. So in fire insurance, only a hostile and not a friendly fire is insured against. So under an open policy, the measure of indemnity is the actual loss sustained and the burden is upon the insured to establish the amount of such loss. Under a valued policy of fire insurance, the valuation in the policy is conclusive between the parties. We have also here the war risk insurance. So for the war risk insurance is an insurance covering damage caused by acts of war. It includes coverage for war, hijacking, and related perils. So as we all know, we are so very familiar about hijacking or and the war. So insurers have intended to withdraw liability coverage for weapons of mass destruction, or the WMD, a subset of war risk insurance. So the war risk insurance or the weapons of mass destructions, may we include here that first we have radioactive contamination or the dirty bombs. Second, we have the electromagnetic pulse devices. Third, we have the chemical or biological weapons. Some countries, like the United States of America, they provide coverage while others do not. So the International Air Transport Association has argued that airlines in countries that do not provide coverage are competitive disadvantage. So under the Federal Aviation Administration program, insurance coverage for passenger and third-party liabilities for United States Airlines is approximately half the passengers compared to almost outside of the United States. It has been held that a strained interpretation, which is unnatural and forced, as to lead to an absurd conclusion or to render the policies nonsensical, should by all means be avoided. Likewise, it must be borne in mind that such contracts are invariably prepared by the companies and must be accepted by the insured in the form in which they are written. So any construction of a marine policy rendering it void should be avoided. And such policies will be construed strictly against the company in order to avoid a forfeiture unless no other result is possible from the language used. That is made exception to the general coverage and construed most strongly against the company. So that would be all. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless us all.